The next series of photos are on Longlining. These are still photos taken in 1974 of Russell Bates, Peter Bates and Vin Burnham. It was in Vin's boat, which was wrecked in a storm on Anzac Day 1987. Longline fishing became the norm in the latter years until fishing ceased about 1987, as it was impossible to catch enough fish on hand lines. The long line was about 1.5 kilometres long, was coiled into a basket with 250 hooks on 2 metre long snoozes every 6 metres along the line. This line was shot 4 to 5 times in a day. The hooks were placed in rotation on corks inside the edge of the fishing basket. On the way out to the fishing ground, they were baited with squid, octopus, cooter and flathead. The fresher the bait, the better. The baited hooks were placed on the lip, and the last hook to be shot was the first baited. A flag and weight was attached to the line and dropped over the side, and the boat would motor along at about 4 knots. And the line run over the index finger, and as the snooze came up, it was held and flicked over the side. The boat never stopped unless there was a problem. Then the line was held in one hand and the hooks shook free or untangled with the other. If it was a major tangle, the line was still held in one hand, and could be, by the time the boat put out of gear, and by the time the boat lost way, you could lift the line for 60 or 70 metres behind the boat. You had to make sure you held that line, because if you let it go, the line would fly out of the basket, taking a lot of hooks with it, which could go through your body, fingers, arms, and cause a right old mess. At the halfway, a line with a weight and flag were attached to the long line. The boat then motored slowly until the end of the line, where a further flag and weight were attached. The boat then motored slowly back to the start, and the flag lifted and the line coiled into the basket as the boat slowly motored along. The fish were taken off, hooks rebaited and laid on the flange if the line was to be shot again, or unbaited and placed on the cork if the line was not to be shot. The line was pulled up on the starboard side, making sure the boat never crossed the line, as this would cause knots, tangles, maybe cut the line with the propeller and cause general havoc. The whole operation of boat handling, line pulling, rebaiting and removing fish was normally done by one man. It was very tiring. By the time you'd done all those things 4 or 5 times over in a day, keeping in mind the line was 1.5 k's long, it was possible to catch 12-15 boxes of fish, snapper or flathead. Mainly the line was used for snapper, but at other times you would come back and you may have only caught 4 or 5 small flathead. It was a very difficult thing to know how much you would catch. They would generally follow a patch of snapper around, and if you lost a patch you could sometimes find it out by shooting the line in a different direction, or travelling around up the bay further until you picked them up again. But it was the normal fishing in the latter years.